MTN SME Hub. Link to growth, link to success, link to the ultimate resource for business advice and insights.
Welcome back to the Big Small Business Show. In studio with us today, we've got Zerlinda van Merwe. She represents TVDM Consultants, and what they do is they work with community scheme living clients, body corporates, anyone living in that environment, and she consults to them. Now, the question is really that you posed to me was around protecting your reputation and differentiating, as you grow. But we're talking about competition. How are you competing right now? How are you getting clients? And are they generally with somebody already and leaving to come to you, or are they generally they've never ever dealt with a consultant before?
So the majority of our clients are seeking assistance for the first time. A lot of them are looking for alternative routes because the normal legal proceedings are deemed to be too intimidating or too expensive or too time consuming. So very often we get approached by somebody brand new. We get a lot of referrals from our colleagues as well. And because we work with a lot of managing agents, the schemes that they manage, if they need assistance, they'll refer the work through to us. So that's how we generally get our business. And then with the events and advertising and marketing that we do as well, it comes through that. We even get referrals from practicing attorneys that work in our space as well.
So how do you, when you go out there and say, what makes you special? If I asked you what makes you special as an organization, there was, TVDM and TDVM, like two competing next to each other. What do you say when you're competing that makes people come to you? Or is it just about personality?
Personality has a lot to do with it. We do believe in that relationship building and working with our clients for a long-lasting relationship. What does set us aside is that we are specialists in what we do, and we don't do anything other than community schemes. So no labor, no criminal law, nothing along those lines, only community schemes. What sets us aside as well is that we're non-practicing, so we don't have the typical restrictions that legal practitioners do, and that we focus on internal dispute resolution, mediation, the community scheme ombud service, and the fact that we've got many years of experience in property management ourselves. I always like to put myself in the shoes of my clients. I've grown up in community schemes. I own in community schemes. I've only lived in community schemes. I'm a trustee in my personal capacity as well. So I try to relate to the client in that way as well, which I think a lot of our competitors and colleagues don't do.
And okay, so let's come to your competitors. How do they compete? When they're competing against you, what are they saying?
I suppose they're doing a lot of a variety of service offering. We can come to a one-stop shop. You don't have to go to somebody else. You don't have to only have an element of your problem dealt with. And then they come with, big brands and big offices with a lot of different attorneys that can assist them. And sometimes a much longer history in the space than we have as well.
Do you have a repeat nature in your business where you have either retention clients or they come back to you once a year? Do you have that in the business?
Most certainly. So all the work that we get referred to us from managing agents is repeat. And as the managing agents change, companies, if we've got a good relationship with that portfolio manager, we get introduced to a new company and new buildings. Generally speaking, if we do work for a community scheme versus an owner or an occupier, you have more ongoing work. So if they've met you through the process of doing their rules and then suddenly a dispute arises and they know that you're good, they'll come back to you. And very often what we do is periodical in nature, so updating policies, updating rules, assisting with CSOS registrations, all those fun things. So a lot of it is repeat type work.
And are you tracking that retention rate, so to speak? Do you track it, and is it high? If you are, is it high?
I can't say that we track it per se, but we can most certainly see who our returning clients are, and simply because that relationship just gets stronger and stronger and the referrals come from it as well. We do have a database of our clients, and we split them into geographical, we split them into different types of community schemes, managing agent or owner, trustees or directors. So we do try to keep a track of where the work is coming from, and generally speaking, the majority of our work is for the community scheme via the managing agent.
When I say the word specialized to you, what comes up for you? How do you feel about if I said to you, you've got to specialize? Just tell me what goes through your mind and how you feel about specializing, doing a more focused, less breadth of work.
So it's one of my favorite terms, actually. I, from very early on in my career, knew that I wanted to specialize in community schemes and
No, deeper, as in only flats or only this or only that. Go further, deeper. Yeah.
So when I think about specializing, it is finding an area of the law, an area of that area,
Yes.
and finding a passion in it.
Yes.
And enjoying and loving what you do so much that you actually don't want to do anything else, and getting excited about such a small area that other people sometimes take for granted.
And so you feel, I'm taking it, you feel positive about that?
Yes, yes.
And what might that specialization of the specialization be? Do you want to, if you doesn't come to mind, then let's leave that. Okay, let's flip that. If I say one-stop shop to you, or how does that make you feel?
A one-stop shop doesn't really give me much feeling of specialization. I think a one-stop shop is everything from different areas of law. So if you need somebody to assist you with the bail application and conveyancing, at the same time, you can go there.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying within the community scheme living environment, I'm going more types of community scheme living versus less. That would be one-stop shop. You can come for whether you've got a body corporate issue or you got like everything in that space.
Yeah.
So to broaden your offering versus to narrow your offering.
Yeah. So we definitely do focus on all forms of community schemes.
Yeah.
It's much easier to focus on bodies corporates because you've got legislation surrounding it, but it depends also for jurisdictions what would be more popular. But we do look at and ensure that we are considered to be the experts in all forms of community schemes. And for a one-stop shop effort, you can come to us from assistance on how to be a trustee, to a dispute resolution, to drafting your governance documents. So everything related to community schemes.
Okay, I think I've got enough, Zerlinda. We're going to take a break now. When we come back, I'll have some things for Zerlinda to think about. Stay tuned.
MTN SME Hub, link to business success.